still. I fucking told you to keep still.
Took revenge by killing over 300 soldiers of the Red Army. The Immortal. I'm sending you to clean up your mess. This is for you.
And this is for you.
Finland, 1946. The war is officially over, but nobody told him. Aatami Korpi was a soldier once, a commander, a man so feared on the battlefield that his own side stopped giving him orders because he didn't need them. The Soviets had a name for him, the Immortal, not because they respected him, because they couldn't kill him. Now he's just a man, a dog at his side, a shovel on his back, crossing into Soviet territory alone, heading home. What he finds when he gets there will start a war that one man fights alone against an entire army. And the army loses. The house is gone. The farm is ash, but the wall is still standing, just barely. And on that wall, carved into the wood, are the height marks of his children. His family measured against that wall as they grew, year by year, until they didn't grow anymore. Aatami doesn't scream, doesn't collapse. He just stands there and reads the wall like a man reading a death sentence he already knew was coming. He knows who did this, a Soviet officer named Dragunov, a man who didn't use bullets on Aatami's family. He used a shovel because bullets were too fast, too clean. Dragunov wanted them to know it was him. Now Aatami wants Dragunov to know it's him.
Your team burned down entire villages. We chopped them into little pieces.
We were saving bullets.
Far away in Siberia, a prison door opens. Dragunov has served his time, but the Soviets aren't done with him. Rumors have been spreading along the border that the Immortal is back, that Aatami Korpi has crossed into Soviet territory. And the last time that happened, hundreds of men didn't come home. So they give Dragunov one mission: find Aatami, kill him, finish what should have been finished years ago. Dragunov remembers Aatami, not from the battlefield, from the farmhouse. He remembers a small boy who tried to fight back, a child who grabbed a tool off the wall and swung it at him before Dragunov put him down. That boy almost took his eye. Dragunov has been thinking about that boy for years. He doesn't know yet that the boy's father has been thinking about him too.
I remember the begging, except for one, a small boy. Almost took my eye. Ottawa.
The first soldiers find him on a road near the border. They surround him, guns up. They think it's simple. One old man, one dog, one shovel. They think this is over before it starts. It isn't. Aatami doesn't negotiate, doesn't run. He moves through them like he's done this 10,000 times. Because he has. A Molotov explodes in a man's face. Another soldier gets crushed by his own vehicle. The rest don't get a chance to radio for help.
Keep very still.
In under a minute, the road is quiet again. Aatami picks up his shovel and keeps walking. The soldiers who sent that patrol wait for a check-in that never comes, and that's when they understand. The rumors were true. The Immortal is real, and he's heading straight for them, so they escalate. Motorbikes first, a full squad closing in from both sides. Aatami turns the road into a killing field. Hooks, wire, improvised explosives rigged from whatever the dead soldiers left behind. One by one, the bikes go down. One by one, the riders stop moving. Then armored vehicles, then air support, fighter jets screaming low over the tree line, dropping fire from above. The forest burns. The road burns. Aatami drives through all of it. At one point, he brings down a jet, not with a missile, not with technology, with timing, positioning, and the kind of cold tactical instinct that only comes from surviving things that should have killed you 100 times over. The Soviet commanders watching from a distance can't explain what they're seeing. They sent a squad, then a platoon, then air support, and a single man with a shovel is still moving. Dragunov watches the reports come in and says nothing. He already knows. He's known since the farmhouse. This man doesn't stop. You don't hunt him, you trap him. Eventually, the terrain does what the soldiers couldn't. A cliff. The truck goes over the edge and into the water below. For a long moment, nothing. Just the sound of the river and the burning wreckage above. Then he surfaces, bleeding, exhausted but moving, because Aatami Korpi does not drown. He crawls out of the river, takes stock of what he has left, and starts moving again. And what he finds, abandoned in the tree line, half buried in mud, is a tank. He doesn't celebrate, he doesn't rest. He points it toward the border and drives. The army that couldn't stop him on foot is about to find out what he's like with armor. This time, they stop him, not with firepower, with numbers and positioning, a coordinated ambush that even Aatami can't fight through alone. He's taken down, chained, and loaded onto a train heading east, away from the border, away from any chance of escape. And that's when Dragunov finally comes to see him. They stand face to face for the first time since the farmhouse. Dragunov looks at the man in chains and feels something close to relief. It's over. The immortal is finally finished. But then Dragunov makes a mistake. He talks. He remembers out loud the farmhouse, the family, the small boy who swung at him. He says it like it's a trophy, like the memory belongs to him. Aatami doesn't say a word. He doesn't need to. The look on his face says everything. This isn't over. This has never been closer to over than it is right now. And it still isn't over. Locked inside a moving train, chained, surrounded by armed soldiers in every car. This is where it ends for most men. Aatami breaks the chains. He doesn't rush. He moves through the train the way he moves through everything. Methodically, silently, with complete economy of violence. One soldier at a time. No noise that carries to the next car. No mistakes. Coach by coach, the train empties. By the time the soldiers at the front of the train realize something is wrong, there is no one left to warn them. Aatami reaches the engine car, and the train becomes his. An entire Soviet military escort turned into a graveyard on rails. Dragunov sees what's happening and does the only thing left. He cuts the rear cars loose and runs. He thinks distance will save him. He thinks if he can just get far enough ahead, the immortal will finally run out of road. He doesn't know about the cart. Aatami closes the distance like a missile himself, because that's essentially what he's riding. And when the gap closes, there's nowhere left for Dragunov to go. No army, no soldiers, no rank. Just two men and everything that happened at that farmhouse. The fight is brutal and personal in a way that none of the battles before it were. This isn't tactics. This isn't survival. This is the reason Aatami crossed the border in the first place. Every height mark on that wall, every name, every year. Dragunov fights like a man who knows he deserves what's coming.
Was that your revenge? I expected something legendary. Look at me.
And Aatami delivers it. The explosion ends it. The war, the hunt, the debt.